Hi, hello, I'm Emily, nice to see you again. As you may have noticed, I'm working on several Halloween projects right now, and one of them are 4 little dolls of Donna, also known as Friends of Angie, or just some nightmare fuel creepy bastards, which were planned as a small project. What could possibly go wrong? Well, it's 4 dolls. So it took me a bit more time than I expected to finish them. That's why I've decided to split this project into several videos and upload them weekly. Like this we will have a longer spooky season, and who knows, maybe even Christmas will be spooky in here. For this project I bought a few Chelsea dolls from Barbie and then looked which bodies and heads look more fitting to the concept art. I definitely wanted to use 2 bodies with molded cloths and keep the clear ones for other projects. Because right now the skin tone is irrelevant for me, I'm gonna sand and paint them anyway. And then I decided to use a body with a hand that looks like she could hold a knife. What can be more creepy than kids? Only kids with weapons, of course. Now let's choose the heads. All of the Donna's dolls have brown hair, that's why I keep the brown haired head, and for the boy I've decided to use a face with a small smile. For the rest of the dolls I picked faces which had more stains and damages, thinking about future projects in advance again. I start as usual with cutting off the hair, except the brown one, and removing the roots from the inside using closed scissors and tweezers. With smaller dolls it's a bit harder to do, luckily they have less hair as well. I kinda like the brown-eyed version of Chelsea and I feel bad for removing the face up, but it has to be done. After removing the face up, I covered the hair with plastic wrap, sprayed all of the heads with MSC and covered them with a few layers of acrylic paint. Even if you are using acrylics first, it's better to prime faces anyways. Paint will lay smoother and you will need less layers to get them completely covered. Usually I make the first layer of paint thicker and the next ones with watered down acrylics to make sure there won't be any brush strokes left. If needed, I can also use my finger to smooth them out. Donna's dolls have almost the same faces, just the eyes and cracks are different. That's the reason why I've decided to paint them all at the same time. I sketch their faces, seal them, and start layering the pastels. For the second layer I picked red-brown for the eyes and dark blue for the lips. I enjoyed drawing the boy's face the most because he has more features, like this sad clown concept, and I also prefer the face mold with a softer smile. Dolls with teeth look kinda scary, like one of them extroverts who can talk to whomever, do public speeches and all of that jazz, annoying you with small talks, and the last but not least asking if you are collecting points from your purchase. Disgusting. Leave me alone! I use different shades of brown around the eyes to make them more interesting and also get extra depth by using a colder color closer to the eye itself. Our perception works that way that warmer colors feel closer to the viewers than cold ones. If you put 2 of the same objects together, but one of them would be, let's say, orange, and the other one blue, it would feel like the orange one is closer. Okay, these layers were practically the same. Now it's time to add more contrast and individual features using acrylic paint. I struggled to get nice thin lines on the first doll, but with the next ones it got easier and easier. That's something you get with experience, I guess. I used white acrylic paint to correct the form of the cracks, but used it like a watercolor, making some areas more grey, like if the cracks have different depths or they are fading away. In the end, I liked this face even more than the other ones. You can see how with each next doll I got more confident with the brush, however it was still hard to get the right amount of water to get thin lines and make the paint lay properly. Okay, these are the faces all done. So creepy. Now let's do the bodies. First of all, I'm getting rid of the molded cloth. This doll with a hole on the back I'll use for the doll that has a mechanical pair of arms like Dr. Octopus. And the one with straight arms for the boy. The boy will get body modifications anyway, so it doesn't matter if the surface looks a bit rough. The next step is sanding all of the bodies and painting them. I'm going to use enamel paint again. In the past, I didn't know how it would behave on the rubber and vinyl surfaces, but now I tested it and it works absolutely fine. Still wouldn't use it on too flexible parts like the face, but legs and arms are totally fine. It's acetone based, so the paint kinda melts into plastic and is more resistant to friction, but there are also some disadvantages, like you can't thin it up with water and there are less colors to choose from, and it kills brushes, so it's better to use cheap ones. Speaking of brushes, this time I used a small brush from IKEA. And it's such a joy to use it for painting. It applies the paint super smooth and soft. I bought this set of brushes after I've heard that some makeup artists are using the small brush from the set to apply concealer under eyes. I think I can totally see this working out. But the boy is not as simple. He has a bit longer body and limbs, and it means that it's limb chopping time. At first I tried to saw the vinyl parts as well, but that wasn't a smart move. Apparently it's much easier to just cut it with a knife. To increase the body length of the doll, I used the same technique as I used to adjust the chest of Lady Dimitrescu, just left a hole in the middle. To me, the boy looks like one of them dolls with sculpted head, hands and feet, but stuffed body. I'm not going to replace his body completely, but I wanted to imitate the joints of a textile doll. He was planned as a doll with non-undressable clothes, so aesthetic part isn't important this time, but I've painted his body completely anyway, at least with one layer of paint. And as a last touch, I add stains and cracks to their arms using acrylic paint. What I love about the horror dolls is that all of the mess looks like it was planned this way. And I also decided to include shoes in this video because they came together with dolls and are factory made. The only thing I would like to adjust is adding a cut at the back of these light blue shoes to make them easier to put on the doll. After adding this little cut, I sprayed all of the shoes with the sealant and painted them with black acrylics. In the next video you will see fabric dye gone wrong, vintage lace from grandma, making patterns, amazing haircuts. So don't forget to turn on the notifications to not miss it. See you next Saturday, thanks for watching and bye!